So let me kind of give you guys the stakes between these two teams because I think they're pretty interesting. I talked on Somebody Insight about how I think that BDS is actually kind of like T1. And what I mean by that is that they are playing a style of League of Legends that they have a diversity of picks that allows them to kind of play the same style over and over again, but it provides a really solid foundation. And the start of that is that Nuke is just playing like Faker, not, like Faker, but as in he is playing in a similar style to Faker. And by that, I mean it's a lot of control mages in the mid lane that are very stable right now. It's a lot of Azir, it's Orianna, it's Nico. If we actually look at his stats for this year so far, coming into this series, actually including this series, he has only played Orianna, Azir, and Nico this split, okay? And today he played Azir, Orianna again, and then he played one game of Akali. But basically the way that T1 and BDS draft is to early pick a control mage, blind pick it. And then that allows you for your side lanes, especially your top lane, to have a lot more priority in playing weird champions. In T1's case, this could be Zeus with Yone. In the bot lane's case, Ice has been playing a lot of engage or pick heavy crowd control 80 carries. So this is Varus, Jhin, Ashe. He's only played 2 other games not on those 3 picks. One of them was on Callista, and one of them was on Aphelios. So either with Chain of Corruption, or with Ashe Arrow, or with Jhin W, or with Jhin ult, they have an ability to create long-range CC that then gets them a lot of picks. The other thing that they do is they put Sheo onto a lot of skirmishing champions with early game dueling pressure. So Xin Zhao and Vi have been his biggest one. He's also had a couple games of Poppy, but less of the farming junglers or kind of the Maokais that have been really big in this meta. So they tend to play a style that is based around pick compositions with a strong control mage identity in mid lane. And then they have, of course, Adam's like kind of wacky champion pool to play within the top side. So it's a style that has enough diversity that's very hard for enemy teams to ban out. They can kind of fall back and continuously play this style, even with 5 bans through the draft phase, and because they prioritize mid lane picks early. That's what I mean by they're like T1 in this way. They're playing a very solid fundamental style of League of Legends where they don't have to change win conditions from game to game, and they can they can play the same win conditions over and over, and they've gotten really good at that, and they're particularly good at vision control and objective control and setting up picks and traps around vision before the objective starts. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for BDS today. G2, on the other hand, clearly they started a little bit weaker this split with Caps not being in his greatest performance. But now, as the split is ending and we've seen Caps in playoffs, we've seen some really amazing games like his Akali game, good side laning. And G2 is much more about trickier drafts, right? They're the ones who are playing like Vladimir top counters from Broken Blade. Broken Blade has had some huge carry performances on the Zac, for example. Hansama, very different kind of AD carry, often gets the Draven band and has preferred Aphelios and Callista. So he's got like the reverse champion pool of Ice in the bot side, as well as being kind of a dangerous, Varus and Senna player as well. So a lot more kind of champion diversity on the side of G2 and probably higher individual skill level. But also kind of a propensity to have some whoopsies at times. But this is a much better team when it comes to being able to roll out a variety of different play styles, and especially playing side lanes. BDS plays for vision control and picks around Drake and Baron, okay? On the other hand, G2 plays much more for side lane pressure. So that's kind of what we're looking at heading into this series, and we'll kind of see how all of this plays out. And right off the bat, this is game 1. There's the Draven ban. And remember how we just said that Sheo doesn't play Maokai or Brand, really? He has played games, but they haven't been his default picks. Whereas you're going to be much more worried about carry junglers from Yike, okay? Darius here, Ashe here, going to be taken out immediately. However, this still leaves the Varus and the Jhin in the champion pool. So right now, you may see just a first pick Varus here to take it away from Ice and force him to do something different. Like if you're going to ban the Ashe, I think you probably go for a first pick Varus here. just because that's going to kneecap BDS the most, and you can't ban out Nuke's champion pool with the bans that you've already put down. So Kallista's still up. I forgot Kallista was still up. You're obviously going to take that if you're Hansama. Playing to his comfort, and it will be Varus Orianna. So this is the least surprising thing of all time coming on the side of BDS. This is super predictable. Twisted Fate. We're on 14-2. Twisted Fate was buffed on AD. Twisted Fate was buffed on this patch, right? Oh no, it's buffed on. Yes, it was buffed on 14-2. He gets less attack speed growth, but wild cards now scales with 50% bonus AD. So that's going to be really good for wave clear with an AD build. And his pick a card now scales with crit strike chance, and he gets more attack speed bonus off of his stacked deck, and it scales with bonus AD. So basically, this is going to be a significantly buffed ADTF, which implies that this could be an AP mid laner here. Maokai and Brand are already banned, but we could see a Lilia pick coming here potentially. Poppy actually is going to pick tier very strong into Kallista. It's pretty dangerous to leave the Poppy up if you're going to first pick Kallista. And if you're the enemy team, you have to take Poppy in the first round of the draft. Otherwise, it's definitely going to be banned here. So they're banning Braum because they want to pick Nautilus here on 4. Jack's going to be banned. Why would Jax be banned? This could be top. Because I don't understand why else you would ban Jax here. Great flex. This is a great draft from BDS. We saw this yesterday in the Mad Lions game, where Rel and Poppy on red side were picked, and that just leaves you guessing until the very end of the draft. Broken Blade been playing hundreds of games of TF and solo queue. Yeah, it makes sense. They're going to take the Azir, so this is a top TF. That's why the Jax is banned, because the Counter-Strike would potentially really fuck up AD Twisted Fate. Well, you hit me with the Kallista Taric. That's an old combination, obviously, but this is a really creative draft from G2. This allows them with Twisted Fate to set up some nasty dive city with Kallista. Holy moly. And Vi. Oh, this is tower dive central, man. The problem with running Twisted Fate topside is that you have to get him out of the top lane, but in the mid game, you can side lane the Azir and switch TF to mid potentially, right? Or you just send TF bot and you do Drake control with Kallista. Because what you can do with this composition is start stacking Drakes early. And by the time towers start falling, you get to, 15, 16 minutes in the game. You send Kallista mid and TF bot, and that way he can port out into further Drake fights. Or tower dive. Rumble falls down through the draft. Will be Rel support. On the BDS side, really strong engage, ball onto Rel potentially, or Poppy, who's heroic charging in. Pretty standard composition. Early aggression is definitely possible for their bot lane with the Poppy pickup. Poppy also has invade pressure, as we saw yesterday in the games. They kind of screwed it up, but you saw the power of the early game Poppy, especially pre-level 3, when Yzma played it on Mad Lions. They fucked it up. They fucked up the play in the long run, but they had the right idea at first. So this is about his BDS style of composition, but you guys see what we're talking about. They just run very well-rounded compositions. And credit to Adam. I mean, Adam is a player who is a giant liability on this BDS roster at Worlds, primarily because he couldn't play Rumble. And he hasn't played a lot of Rumble games. I think he played one before this, but at least he's able to play it now. Okay, very good wave state for a 6-minute Drake. Classic Kallista composition, trying to stack this up early on. Sheo. Okay, flash E stun. Very nice. But they used everything that they have. Where was the shockwave's down? I guess Nuke used it in lane. When did he use shockwave? He hit 6, and his shockwave's already on cooldown. What? I guess he used it instantly? Nobody knows that Nuke doesn't have ult, I guess. Casters don't know. Cap still has his ults. I mean, it's a good one, but I mean, if they have shockwave, he dies. Just straight up. He trades flash for flash otherwise, but he's able to get out of this. Nice flash from Hansheim on Lebrov's engage. Uses cleanse on the stun. Nice flash. Okay, force cleanse on the other side. Another E from Poppy. First blood for Rel. Good skirmish from BDS, actually. Sheo Sheo making the plays. But they don't take the Drake. Huge to stop early Drake stacking, though. This is what I'm talking about. BDS is very 1,500 LEC deaths. That's funny. This is what I'm talking about. The setups, the pick setups that BDS does. Like, you don't expect the Orianna just to be fucking hiding in your jungle right here. I mean, I'm pretty sure they see that Orianna. That's why Mickey X is going up, but they don't expect Sheo to be here. He also interrupts the Q, so there's no escape for the Vi. Completely unnecessary to use Shockwave, but what are you going to do? Okay, so the Twisted Fate trying to get in range right now to use ult. Is running a pick comp versus TF? Yes, exactly. Guys, this is a good strategy from G2. Run TF. How do they pick you when you can see them? How do they do that? You know, they happen to use the TF ult. Yes, TF was ulting into topside, but the timing of the TF ult around the first Drake before the fight was so they could see everybody coming up. This is a very, very smart pick to counter BDS's style. It also just allows you mobility so you can split push, right? The 1-3-1 is very strong. Gold card immediately onto ice, right? Look at this play. Timing is perfect. Vi ult directly into gold card, loaded up, boom, done. Even though he uses cleanse. It's free now. And they're just immune. So Yike lives. It's extremely well played by G2. Very, very good timing. Now Caps is going to TP to topside. So as I said earlier before the game, it's now Caps' job to push this side. You push TF here. They go mid. Every time Drake comes up, TF is bot so that you can actually get vision. You threaten a flank every single time. You can clear out wards in bot side. Having 2 AD carries pretty useful, turns out. Broken Blade dies because he doesn't have summoners, but totally worth it for the trade up that you get here. Why are we using Herald? This feels a little weird.
I think this is smart. They need to get something back here because look at Caps pushing in the bot wave. G2 also sent Mickey has the flash, but they sent Hansama to mid while that play top was happening. Can they actually secure this?
Very low value Herald. Super low value.
They're going to keep the pressure up with G2 try and fight.
Now they're like desperate to take this. This is really weird, guys. Broken Blade's going to be up with ult in 5 seconds. This could be an overextension for sure. Broken Blade's going to murder them. Thank you, Decole812. Force the TP. There's Taric ult. He's coming in. Gold card. Okay, so when you... Probably when the TP comes in. So the call here is a little weird, guys, because they actually see the Orianna TP. Orianna's in the brush. And so Ori TP's in. I guess they couldn't see Ori TPing. We can't really tell if there was any vision coverage there in that brush or not. And Caps makes the call to just continue pushing. Because at the very least, he doesn't see Ori clearing this wave. So at this point in time, we can't just go in like this. Right? The call at this point in time is to trade tier 2 for tier 2. They ping the TP. Yeah, so Broken Blade cannot go in that case. That's a little awkward. Oh, TF ult showed her. Of course it did. You guys are absolutely right. Of course it did. So they saw that. So they actually had a plan. So the TF ult should have just been to pull the TP out of Ori, and then TF doesn't actually complete the channel for the TP. Yeah, you just chase them down and let Caps split. It's very kind of weird, especially because, again, Broken Blade doesn't have his summoners. Yeah, in spite of that, because of G2's superior macro, we still have a gold lead here, right? I just love the fact that they get this Baron call off, too, during the Drake guys. I mean, look at this. So good. You would never in a million years think they're doing Baron while they have Callista at a turret, because you think, oh, well, Kalista needs to be on the objective to get the rend, right? It's absolutely crazy that they make this call, but it's a really good call because you have the Twisted Fate as well to provide the DPS and the Azir. Like, you have zero reason to assume that they are doing Baron. This is a brilliant call by G2.
This is the guy you need to look at.
But I mean, this is what they've done. I mean, now you got 2-level advantage and a Rabadon and he's gone.
There, Adam, you just got no chance. There's too many soldiers. You're just one man against an empire. Caps now take.
But I mean, this is
Source of
what they've done. I mean, now you got 2-level advantage and a Rabadon and he's gone.
There, Adam, you just got no chance. There's too many soldiers. You're just one.
Clean by Caps, knowing he doesn't have flash.
Caps now taking him down. G2 immediately started the objective. Sheo and LeBron can try to get into the pit. There's no magic damage there yet, so Sheo can survive for a decent amount of time, but the TP now coming in. Caps is finally going to be here. Sheo. Mickey ready to go for the wall if he needs to. 3K getting lower. Varus ultimate there. They'd love to knock a jungler out, but they're taking their time. Poppyall not going to connect. Nice! Varus arrow! Gets it done!
Gets the kill onto me, or it's Mickey the Baron.
In their time. Poppyall
Well, he killed Mickey, but he didn't get the Baron. He can't do it through Rend. Smite Ren combination gonna be too strong.
They controlled the other game well. They were setting up for these objectives. G2 just kind of made fun of them on the map. Broken Blade TP.
Coming in, Broken Blade again. Good sustain damage this time. Sheo does not have a lot of MR. Caps just shredding through that life bar. Will be forced to flash out to safety. Caps now following up, doing a bit more, but the entire team is ready to clash. Broken Blade ready to interrupt with a stun card. Caps still committing anyway. Goes in.
God, Caps. Jesus. What a boss. Now they just get an inhib for free. Let's appreciate this from Caps. Nook flashed the Azir wall too. He's just too strong. Holy moly, he's like 4 items. Honestly, this game was some beautiful adaptations by G2 to a bad situation. And instead of just hard forcing the dragon stacking win condition, after they lost that first skirmish, they just played a side lane threat with Caps and the Twisted Fate and had a really good Baron call. Really good Baron call this game. Great macro. Great shift in their decision making. Finding a different win condition. Great draft. This is the G2 we want.
BDS actually can't get access to River to get vision, while the Adam has to go and deal with that wave. So as soon as they see him, they start up Baron. But this is not going to be a wave.
This game is lasting quite a long time.
Do they want to go for it? Once again, managed to lock down the Baron, lock that one out. Follow-up fight, not going very well for BDS yet. One knocked out by Sheo. Sheo trying to fire back. Nuka with a shockwave, not going to connect. Cavs finding yet another kill off to the side, and it looks like they're going to be able to return one back. Guides limits the entire team. Let's see this damage coming in for the TF. He has to get it done. Excellent
Jesus.
from Caps. The Crypt Bloom coming through to provide a bit more healing, and in goes Broken Blade. Gold card to a promising start, but
That's the end of the game. Beautifully played by G2, honestly. Outside of that skirmish around first Drake, wow. Impressive game. Okay, let's talk about some of the differences. So they don't have an answer to the Twisted Fate, which, again, could be a flex pick, so it's going to be even more dangerous on this side. Because if you aren't going to ban Brand on this side, then there is a possibility that this actually just gets picked up here. Like, you pick TF, and then you have an AP jungler, and it gets flexed into R5, whether it's top or mid, right? So there's a lot of danger, I think, to having the TF up. LeBlanc has been Caps' kind of go-to champion. They just got devastated by the side laning. But Kalista up once again. This isn't a champion that ICE has preferred, and I don't think it's good for BDS. They want Varus. Their priority is probably, for AED, it's probably Ashe is greater than Varus, is greater than Jhin. Okay? They are not a Kalista team. They play control, engaging 80 carries for picks. Kalista, not a surprise. They are G2 is the Kalista Aphelios team. They take the Cassante blind. Ori coming back. Ori and Blitzcrank. Blitz was banned last game, so they really want the Varus Blitzcrank into Kalista, but we'll see if they go for a tankier. Yep, they're going to go with her a tankier support, knowing that perhaps the supports will be banned in the second rotation. Yes, they have to ban. This is smart. Remember how the Poppy was picked in the first rotation last game? Poppy is a huge problem, can get out of control, especially if she's allowed to gank the Kalista lane early. And you have to assume that's going to happen because Varus Blitz is probably going to be pushed back to turret, and they'll be looking to make plays on an extended lane. So do not let them have the Poppy. And they picked Blitz here, so ban the Poppy right away. Hui has been at one of, I think Caps has 100% win rate. He's 3-0 on it, I believe. In LCK, we have seen the Gnar do pretty well into Cassante at times. Sheo back to the early game duelist. They want to focus bot side, get some pickoffs early. Xin Zhao has been his bread and butter.
And it's the most fun by far. Oh, wow.
That makes it even more fun, doesn't it?
All right, well, so we have the, I was not expecting that, guys. It is a Caps classic, okay? Oh, are we going to go Caps Cassante mid? Oh, my God. Unbelievable. All right. Fucking G2, man. They are so smart. This team is so well coached, and their players have such great champion pools so they can do this. It's so good, guys. It's so good. Their prep is so good. Let's talk about this. Okay, so you pick Cassante, right? They pick Gnar, anticipating that this is going to be a counter pick. We have seen the Gnar do very well into Cassantes in certain matchups. It was kind of the original Cassante counter pick, right? Then let's talk about this. This is the classic. If you guys have been watching League of Legends for a long time, you may not know this. This is the classic Yasuo counter pick to Gnar in the top side. And the reason why, if you're curious, you're like, well, Gnar is ranged and he's going to be running fleet footwork and, you know, he can just kite the Yasuo. The reason why is because Gnar is reliant on his boomerang, okay? And boomerang has a very long cooldown, like what, 20 seconds or so? If you don't catch it, all right? And if you do, and what prevents you from catching it is it being windwalled by Yasuo. So he basically cannot boomerang in this matchup. So Yasuo just kind of shits on Gnar. He shits on Gnar. It's very, very hard for Gnar to play the game. Now, do you have problems such as, well, what happens if Yasuo potentially overextends? Is he kind of vulnerable to gank, right? Yes, I mean, he can be, but also, you know, top lane's more isolated on the new version of the map than it used to be. So we haven't seen a lot of Yasuo topside since those changes. And you know what else you've got here, which is really good, is you actually have a lot of enabling for Yasuo ult, right? You have Q3 from Cassante. You have lots of knockups or knockbacks from Cassante. You have Kalista ult. You have Braum ult. These are all excellent setups. And I think you can probably anticipate that they get a Lilia sleep into a multi-man knockup. Like the combo is kind of crazy, potentially. Because it goes sleep, long-range engage of sleep, right? Into knockup, into Yasuo ult, right? So the combo can be really devastating. It's hard to set this up. But if they can set it up, it could be just one-shot the team. Lily also, I assume, very annoying into Xin Zhao because she can just kind of kite him all day, right? And we actually have pretty bad engage here. If we look at the BDS side of things, the Xin Zhao is basically the only real form of primary engage here. Maybe you get a Chain of Corruption, you get a hook off. So this is basically, again, it's a pick composition. Right? They're trying to get picks. Guys, setting up a team fight reliably or having a reliable ball delivery system, because Xin Zhao, his engage is entirely gated by his ultimate. And he actually has anti-synergy in some ways with Ori, because if the Xin Zhao goes in and hits ult, he's going to knock everybody back, potentially out of Ori ult range. And how do you actually get through Windwall here, right? You have to, like, your Varus poke, you got Windwall. He's going to be good in lane. Like, this is some fucking good flexing from G2. What a brilliant red side draft. Yeah, man, I'm so actually psyched for this series. I love what we saw in game number 1. I love this draft. G2 too good, man. We're still seeing some of the, like, Gen G still plays Cassante mid lane too right now. this year. Obviously, it was really common for Chovy last year, but very common this year. Werewolf Lol, thank you for Twitch Prime sub.
Broken Blade. Oh, he doesn't know. Knockup's good. Sheo can just make wind become lightning. Broken Blade will surely become
But if he takes it, he really does flash over the wall.
Dash through him. Flash over. Flash
Oh.
out. He's running, but that's a red.
Q.
Extra Q.
Ah!
Blood going through.
Well, there's the long lane problem with Yasuo, but maybe we'll get some action in the bot lanes here.
Here comes Lilia, Fawn on the
Mickey's
way in.
dead.
Ice.
Can they get ice? They can.
Get one
Okay.
back. LeBron,
Now, Dragon being started off. Fresh base coming out from Caps, but 4 members on this Dragon for BDS.
New
Adam
gear.
is here as
Kasante's
well.
not there.
Adam on the way. No shockwave.
And Nara's coming into the bot side. This is actually a very clever play. It's a very clever play. The other reason they probably don't go for this is because Nara is AFK, and because they forced Broken Blade's TP early with the kill, and they pushed it up. There's now like an opportunity for a free play here on the bot side, and that means Nara can pressure Drake to prevent the Callista stacking, and then immediately TP back into top side, and you don't miss that much.
G2 know it.
So it's a really smart play by BDS, I feel.
Members just because of the early power of the Braum and skirmishes, but Sheo very strong early on. Caps doesn't really have an angle.
Good move by Adam.
Fishing for a hook. Can he hit Han Sama? Flash out. He certainly could have.
And G2 was aware of that possibility as well. I'm sure that Broken Blade was calling that in the top side, that Adam could be bot right there, so they just have to give it up. So again, we're in another situation where G2 is not getting their preferred Callista early Drake control.
Dragon in about a minute 45. You imagine that'll be the next major objective. Is Caps in danger?
Caps potentially over eager here. Unstoppable. Going to take LeBron out. Fish for the 1v1. Unstoppable now going to go back in. Yike on the way.
Dragon in about a minute 45.
Nice job by Caps. Knows that Lebrov doesn't have flash. Immediately goes in.
Over eager.
Knocks him over the wall. Then uses all out to get him over the wall itself.
Unstoppable now going to go back in.
And
Yike
it's
on the way
free.
forward. They're just going to grab a quick support kill. They're not going to finish off Caps. Clean combination over the wall. Is there any follow-up here? Piercing arrow going to unstoppable. Going to take LeBron out. Fish for the
Surprised Mickey
1v1.
X actually
Unstoppable.
flashed for
They're
this,
just gonna grab a quick support kill. They're not gonna finish off Caps. Clean combination over
because they really tried to save Caps there. Probably not worth the flash on Braum.
Off fishing for a flank, looking for the angle. G2 ready to force the fight. They've already gotten the Herald. They want to get a little bit more. Sheo isolated. Nuke nowhere to be found, and the jungler is already dead. It's too late for BDS. A split call overall, and now Orianna going to be the one in trouble, looking for a little bit of
Oh,
follow-up here.
Lord.
Gonna be forced to flash out of safety. The rest of BDS now trying to
Why are we all in on this fight?
It's 3 immediately into the wall for follow-up, but now they've been brought back. A clean combo. Kasante and the Yasuo to bring them out of the fight, but BDS are there.
They're still dead.
After 2 games, they're finally finding their fight, but it's G2 coming out top.
Yasuo's still here, buddies.
2 Q stacks, 1 Q stack, ready to go. Wind wall, 4th concussive blow. He just needs to land the Q, but he doesn't quite have the timing. Mickey looking to land the Q over the wall. He does.
There you go. Nice slow.
That's been his stun coming in. Fuck kill follow-up is there. Yike on a rampage. G2 getting the fight.
Like, if he was actually to be
Ice getting chunked here actually loses them mid-turret. Like, he walks up for this and misses his chain of corruption. Now he's 50% HP, which means that he actually has to back off this turret
Looks like he doesn't want to overcommit.
and gets it in range for Herald to be used potentially. Will just be a sole point here. G2 just playing this very methodically.
To group up with the team. BDS are looking to use their numbers to force control over this wave, and if they can unlock this tower, then it makes accessing the river that much easier. But now with numbers, let's see what they can do.
TP coming in
TP from behind. BDS, what's the call? Double TP now coming in. Caps immediately going to go in.
Okay, Mikhail's used from Lilia. Sleep.
Broken Blade immediately into the backline. Adam trying to disengage as quickly as he can, but both carries are scattered. They can't even get a chance to do any damage whatsoever. G2 trying to break through the front line. Yasuo down, clean coming in from LeBron to finish off the kill there, but Caps goes in, hitting 2 with the Q3.
The chase down is so crazy from Callisto, Lilia, and Kasante.
It doesn't matter. That's a damn powerful pick. And I think the big thing there is that single moment of overconfidence where BDS stepped back into that brush, costing them dearly. G2 now just trying to force another fight. Sheo's ult coming up just in time. Knock up there. Good start, Yike. Buys a moment. Will it be enough? Damage follow-up. Nice shockwave onto 2. Caps waiting.
Good shockwave on Hansama.
Out to safety, still standing. Broken Blade trying to turn this one back, just dashing, getting a bit more room. Knock up there.
Broken Blade?
Probably just gonna die for it.
You did not have to do that.
Back in. Crypt Bloom healing coming in. Safety fight. Sheo's ult coming up just in time. Knock up there. Good start, Yike.
So take care. The Drake's been up this whole time, guys, by the way.
Shockwave onto 2. Caps waiting for a chance to go over the wall. Hansama flashing out to safety, still standing. Broken Blade trying trying to turn this one back, just dashing, getting a bit more room. Knock up there, broken blade immediately.
Maybe we just run away. I don't know.
No reason to commit back in. Crypt Bloom healing coming in. BDS
He
looking
hit the tornado knockup and had to press R, guys.
Try and set up, but we're gonna hold on to this point.
Cap 7-4 trying to isolate Nuke. Looking for the knockback. Shockwave pulls away here. Flash away from the Q3. Cap's looking to flash follow. Walking a bit too far. Cap's just gonna wander away. Should be
Caps?
now. Ice, nice dash back.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He's Cassante. Oh, no. He had Q3. Oh, wow. Woo. Ridiculous. Ridiculous that he wins that. Especially considering he only has Hollow Radiance. Ah, yes, the classic. Oh, gets Kalista ulted into Yasuo ult into dead.
So the question is, how did G2 respond? Flash, response.
Knock up only onto LeBron for now, but he's going to be in trouble. Instant unbreakable to stop any potential follow-up here. Ice just trying to disengage. Caps continuing to walk forward, taking absolutely zero damage. Swirl Seed connecting onto one. Sleep down onto Ice. Broken blade.
Oh my god.
But he's going to be in trouble. Instant unbreakable to stop any potential follow-up here. Ice just trying to disengage. Caps continuing to walk forward, taking absolutely zero damage. Swirl.
I love that they use the Kalista ult just for the Yasuo ult right here. Into the asleep. Has to be cleansed. What a slaughter. Ah.
Good shutdown. Yike continuing to move in. G2 gets so much on the back of that. Adam's going to go mega, but it's just too late.
A little bit of happy gaming from Caps and G2 here, but another pretty solid win for them. Another draft that was very exciting. Why do we keep giving Hansama Kalista?
Both those games made.
I know you don't play Kalista, but please, please. They just banned Poppy again. They figured it out. Because now what are we going to do? You're going to pick Varus again. You keep losing, but you have to pick Varus because you play 3 ADs. You play Varus and Jhin. And we can't play Maokai because we're BDS. Oh, they're going to take the brand. Okay, this is the second brand game. Very surprised they're taking this away. All right, so we're back to Ivern and Hui. Hui has been seen bans in this series. After this game, Caps is 3-0 on Hui. Get the frontliner here for disruption. No Braum. We're gonna try and draft Nautilus here. No Zac in the top side. No Olaf. Okay, it's Adam. So you don't want him running into your backline if you have a less mobile backline. There's the Nautilus. That's interesting. The Bard is good here. The Bard is good into Varus Brand Azir. No. Oh. Again, Leona has conditional engage, though, and it's easy to hit Brand with a Leona R, right? It's easy to hit Brand with a Leona R. It's easy to hit Brand with a Bard R. Not a big fan of the Jackson to Cassante these days because you don't have the one-item power spike with Sunderer anymore to kind of start winning that lane. You kind of, as far as I can tell, just lose at all phases to Cassante in lane now. Less of a creative draft from G2 this time, but I mean, they're one of, if not the best Hui team in the world right now. And we see Caps be really good on this champion. And the long-range engage is crazy, because if you set up a long-range, like a Leona R onto Brand, like, the Hui can just annihilate him, right? This is clever from Mickey. You know, you get a lot of harass damage. We've seen Hui become more and more of an Azir counter, which I find interesting, as we see this matchup develop in professional play. Seems like in those early levels, you do have a ton of pressure as the Hui onto the Azir. Oh, he actually followed the flash. Beautiful. Oh, and it's a shield. Ooh. Flash.
Moment he's still only level 5 is slightly behind Yike. But Adam will need to be careful here as well.
Going in, he hits the Q3 here. It's an easy fall. Pull back Yike now in the area. Daisy has now been called out. Counter-strike can connect on 2. Leaping back to Yike. Flashing out is Adam. Ulting for safety.
Ugh.
Has now been called.
Comes on the unstoppable, so he uses it while he's stunned. Adam tries to come over to Yike, but too much damage plus Daisy being there. It feels pretty weird that they kind of got 2 counter matchups in the solo lanes, like the Hui into the Azir and then also the Jax into the Cassante. Makes it very difficult for BDS to play the game.
Broken blade with a quick solo kill topside of Adam away. Adam going to be in trouble now. Ultis and counter strike tries to get a bit more space, but BB still unstoppable, taking his time. Adam. Not in the fancy footwork in the world. Broken Blade with a quick solo kill topside of BDS.
Yeah, this Jack's pick just not going well after seeing the Cassante and picking into it. Ice just taking a million shots from Daisy for free, gets knocked up, then knocked up again, then stunned, and then killed. Didn't feel like flashing any of that, by the way. Ice did not feel like flashing so that he doesn't die. Not respecting the Daisy knockup into the chain CC that would lock him down forever. He's like, I can get out of this with just cleanse. It's okay. Jesus. And by the time Adam gets back up and he now has TP available, he just TPs immediately into top side because he can't help.
You're just going to see the reset bit greedy from Hansama, and Lavrov had hit level 6 off that wave that just crashed underneath the tower, so great follow-up from the BDS.
I mean, he did get a flash out.
You can already see BDS using that flash from the push they had, thanks to that to invade.
Traded flash for flash at least. They're always like, Ice, no flash. Varus, no flash.
Picked up by G2, but with no control for Adam in this top side right now. He's gone again.
Oh, no. Tippy's pulling him out for another 1v1. Adam immediately ulting, taking his time looking to set the counter.
I don't think we should be playing this Cassante Jax matchup anymore, guys. That's my feeling on this. What do you think? I think I'm done watching this matchup now. It's not what it was last year. It surely isn't what it was last year. Why are we walking into choke points when Daisy's here to just body you? Okay, Sheo has to flash because he gets hit by Leona R. There's the knock-up right there. By the way, I'm still so angry that this Ivern skin is not called Allen Iverson. I'm so angry.
Severing Bolt getting a little bit of damage, not going to provide any slow, however.
He tried to go for that. An ambitious play from him.
Run it up immediately. The team goes in. Knock him
Dude, Daisy is actually winning this game.
Yeah, again, from a screen away. Strong Nuke. Pushback is there. Dash out to safety. And I will say, rare misstep from Nuke. You can't just stand on top of Daisy. That's just not. That's not going to end well for you, Lebrov.
Whoa, LeBron?
MacGyver didn't escape onto that one. Now he's going to queue back in. Maybe he's MacGyver to fight. Sheo coming over the wall. Good start to the fight. Counter-strike now connecting onto Mickey. Mickey running, ticking down, burning. Broken Blade off to the side. Just going to take.
Oh, here comes Daisy again. She's here to hard win a Drake fight.
Q3 to bring the brand back. Daisy, Cassante just bullying this brand.
Is Broken Blade done yet, though?
No, I don't think he is.
You think a tower will stop him, Ice?
Okay, Chains of Corruption at least does. So
Okay,
he does have some way of stopping him.
Adam's dead. He's the fish in the barrel.
He's now all alone, and the wave is on its way, and I don't know.
Right, here comes Daisy. Daisy, Daisy.
Where is he gonna go? How can he possibly escape?
It's knocked up again.
Just making it happen. Spiraling despair on Adam. They get a brief moment with the power, and it's more than enough to finish.
Oh my, what? Jesus Christ. The blood, the murder. Meanwhile, do you like how Mickey X is he's just in topside here? He literally just hex flashed into topside to collect CS of the turret. He's like, you don't need me, Leona, right? Nice job coming over the wall there. I mean, the Leona into the brand turned out to be really smart. I was a fan of the Bard, but the Leona's working really well. Right there, E immediately over, stun locked, forever. Did he actually miss the ult, though? EQ. Little bit scary there. A little bit scary as the brand does get into the pit. I mean, it was close, right? 1930, 17, 400. Oh, he smited super early, actually. He smited it like 1500, whatever, 1400. Or he smited at 1700, I think. He has red smite, so it was his smite that came in at 1700. Kind of a bad smite, honestly. But he's also brand, so he dies in like 1 second in the pit. If he's focused, so maybe he thought he was just going to die and not have a chance to smite it at all.
Stepping too far forward here, but you can see with a Fwayne and Ivern, it's so hard to stop this siege from working. endless wave clear coming
Yeah,
in.
it's just the brush and the long. Oh my god.
Forward, slow coming in from Mickey X's ultimate, redemption going down as well. Broken Blade already isolating Nuke. G2 just want to go for the endless
Wait, how did
wave
what?
clear coming in from the Molten Fisher, and now LeBron's damage is a little bit too far forward. Slow coming in from Mickey X's ultimate, redemption going down as well. Broken Blade already.
I like how Daisy jumps over the wall just to punch this is here. This game is very over at this point in time. Leona Value has actually been really good this game. Oh my god. Randall completely useless. Q3 pulls Adam back.
Looking for the victory lap close out here. One carry already done. Eyes on Caps. He's just fishing.
And BDS just haven't been able to find it again today.
Rob caught out another severing bolt, taking so much life. Hansama gonna grab the kill. Ice now pulled back. Quick team fight for G2, making it look easy. QW.
Great execution by G2 this game. I'm really impressed by them. Like, I leave this series very impressed by their flex picks, their win conditions that they've managed to achieve, right? Very different compositions, but playing to win conditions in both cases. Pulling out some surprise picks, like the AD Twisted Fate that was buffed on this patch being top lane. It does feel kind of inevitable. And they really did, I think, have BDS's number. As I talked about at the start, you look at some of these games and you think, oh, well, if they're going to play pick compositions, well, abusing this Twisted Fate AD is actually an extremely good way to prevent them from getting the proper vision control and setups on objectives. And they just bopped them in the skirmishes that last game. BDS like couldn't play their style. The brand is really just not their style, guys. The farming jungler, no, that ain't it for them. So fun series. I think it gives you hope in G2. And I will be definitely taking that into consideration for my power rankings. That should be released in a couple of days.